Hello everybody, welcome to LAWA episode 2. Last week at Apple, we're going to be breaking down pretty much everything that happened at Apple in the past week in a way that's relatively fun, a little bit different, more long form than my traditional videos. And my goal every week is to expand a little bit more on the main talking points, more so than I did in the video, or maybe provide an additional perspective, just something a little bit different to do a weekly stream at the end of the week. If you're listening to this on YouTube right now, but you want to listen to it in the car or when you're not on YouTube, it is officially on iTunes. You can go ahead and check out the LAWA podcast down below in the description. If you are in the car listening to this, but you want to see some video to accompany the podcast, you can just check down below in the description of the podcast, and there'll be a link to the YouTube video. It was a relatively slow week. We got some new iPhone rumors. We got a couple of new betas. We got the public beta for iOS 12, which is really where the week began. On Monday, we saw iOS 11.4.1 beta 3, and it was a relatively insignificant update. Like everything else we've seen with iOS 11.4.1 so far, it's just a small update. It's basically the equivalent to iOS 10.3.3, and there's just not a whole lot going on with it. It's exciting because it's going to be the last iOS 11 update. Maybe exciting because that's a good thing. Many of us are tired of iOS 11, or exciting just because that means iOS 12 is right around the corner. But there's really not that much happening with the update. The only new feature allows you to disable access to USB accessories after you haven't unlocked your iPhone for an hour, and even that's just not that big of a change, not that big of a deal. It's something that most people won't ever use or think of or even touch, but the feature is there if you want it or you care about it. And that was how Monday started out. Apple also hit us with the iOS 12 public beta on Monday as well, which was equally exciting, probably more exciting. I've been on iOS 12 for a couple of weeks now, so I wasn't incredibly excited for the public beta, but I know a lot of you were. I know a lot of you were super excited for the public beta because that was the first time you could officially and very safely and securely get your hands on iOS 12. So that's out now. You can go ahead and download the public beta at beta.apple.com. The macOS Mojave public beta is out, and I believe there's also a tvOS 12 beta that you can test publicly as well. You don't need a developer account. You just have to sign in with your Apple ID. Apple does appreciate feedback, but that's not a requirement. You don't actually have to do that to participate in the public beta program, which is super cool, and definitely something that I'm very excited for everybody to get, for everybody to see in the future, because public betas are great and they don't cost any money. So that's always something very cool. I think the public beta is pretty stable. I have crashes and glitches sometimes. I notice whenever I'm on like a Discord phone call with the Discord internet communication app, it crashes sometimes, like mid-call, and my device will do a quick restart or a respring. That's just the cost of being on a beta. If you're considering upgrading, or maybe you're on the fence, definitely don't always just think, oh, it's definitely safe on the latest version of iOS 12, or this is absolutely going to be okay, just because it's not always going to be okay. I remember with iOS 11 last year, I had so many issues. It was very frustrating and challenging. But this year with iOS 12, it's been the complete opposite experience. iOS 12 has been amazing, so stable, so smooth, faster and better for me on iOS 12 Beta 1 and Beta 2 than I was getting on the public release version of iOS 11, iOS 11.4, and even what's in beta right now, iOS 11.4.1. For everybody that was always on the fence when big upgrades come out every year, like I'm going to wait a couple of months until iOS 11 gets to 0.1 or 0.2 so it's more secure, you don't have to do that with iOS 12. You won't have to do that, because for the lack of features, Apple makes up on that immediately for just really great stability and a super fast operating system that I know all of you are going to love. Even though it's not the most exciting update, it doesn't have all the features like dark mode. We still don't have dark mode. Everyone wants dark mode, and Apple still hasn't done that yet. However, it is really stable and it is really smooth. And I think above everything else of what we want, like dark mode, this is actually what we need this year. And I think Apple made the right choice by just focusing on that rather than new features. So that was the public beta. I think it's safe for your main device if you want to update. There will be bugs and glitches, but if you want to make the jump, there'll be minor inconveniences, but nothing game breaking or iOS breaking where you just could never use your phone or you would want to go back. I haven't wanted to go back yet, and there are some inconveniences, but for me, it's worth it just for the latest features and having my phone be faster on iOS 12 than it was on iOS 11. All right, after that, we got some new iPhone rumors. The iPhone rumors have been relatively sporadic lately. We haven't heard that much. The biggest thing that we got this week was that all three 2018 iPhones are set to be launching in September. There's not going to be that weird gap like there was last year. If you remember, the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus were announced and released subsequently in September. The iPhone 10, however, was delayed all the way until November, and that was definitely very weird and strange because Apple had announced all of them at the same time, but we had to wait a month and a half to get our hands on the phone that everyone arguably thought was the most exciting and everybody wanted to see the most. That is not going to happen this year. All three are set to be launching in September, which I think is a really good move. It was weird last year with the gap in between, and I think it will hopefully make iPhone sales better for Apple, which is going to be cool. We know there's going to be three models. We've got the 5.8-inch OLED iPhone 10 second gen, the 6.5-inch OLED iPhone 10 Plus, and the 6 to 6.1-inch LCD iPhone. Everybody's calling it low budget or budget or low cost. It's actually going to be between, I think, $600 and $700 were the latest estimates, so $649 and $699. I don't see Apple going below $600 for this device. A little bit thicker bezels, made with some cheaper materials, but it's going to be really, really, really great. And I cannot wait to get my hands on all three of the new iPhones this year, just because I do think that they are going to be pretty cool. I mean, we can see these great mock-ups with Wallsacom right here. I know I'm blocking one if you're watching the live stream, but you've got the 5.8-inch OLED iPhone, second gen iPhone 10 on the left, the 6 to 6.1-inch iPhone with some thicker bezels in the middle, and the iPhone 10 Plus all the way over on the right. So it's going to be a pretty killer lineup this year. We've heard that marked upgrades are coming in 2019, so apparently next year's upgrades will be bigger than these, and that's just because we got the huge iPhone 10 redesign just around a year ago in November or September of 2017 with the iPhone 10. So Apple's got some good stuff in the pipeline. It's gonna be cool, but another big report that we got this year, or this week I should say, was with AirPods. AirPods are said to be getting a refresh later this year. They're just gonna have Hey Siri functionality, and that's pretty cool, you know? That's something, right? Not the most exciting thing for AirPods, but I do know in 2019, the AirPods then are going to get noise cancellation and water resistance, and you'll be able to use them from a farther distance, which should be really exciting. I love my AirPods. I think I have them sitting somewhere around me, and they're so great. I can't wait to see where Apple takes them in the future, just because at the gym, I'm seeing those more than any other headphone, because when you are moving, when you are working out, there's just no better option for me than AirPods. I think they are incredible. They're $160. They are a little bit pricey, but I really do think, and I absolutely believe that they are fantastic. Apple's also working on some more premium over-ear headphones that are going to compete with other companies. I think Sennheiser was mentioned in the Bloomberg article that we got all this information from. New HomePod is in the works as well. I've been pretty outspoken. I'm not the biggest HomePod fan. I think the sound is good, but I don't think the sound is as good as what you pay for, and Siri's so limited. So for me, the HomePod was not a out of the ballpark product by any means. I definitely prefer my Sonos Play ones that are sitting on the desk behind me. But if HomePod can get better, if Apple can just work to improve Siri in the future, that's going to be really exciting. I can't use Siri in the current state. It's so hard for me. I end up repeating things all the time. Sometimes it just doesn't go through. The logic that Siri uses doesn't make sense. Doing follow-up questions is just pretty much non-existent. So I'm hoping that Siri gets better in the future. And the report didn't talk a lot about Siri, just about Apple's audio lineup that's coming. Very small upgrades for audio in the rest of 2018, and much bigger upgrades with over-ear headphones, a new HomePod, and AirPods 3 in 2019. So that should be very, very exciting. And then finally, what I was so excited for, the number one thing that I've been waiting on, or the number one news I think of this week, was definitely the fact that iOS 12 Beta 3 is coming next week. This comes courtesy of TechCrunch. We usually don't get release dates for iOS betas officially ever until they just drop at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. TechCrunch went inside and basically talked to Apple about the Maps platform. And Apple never said Maps was bad or it's in a bad state. And it's gotten a lot better since they launched with iOS 6. If you remember that, it was a nightmare. There was a couple times that I definitely just showed up on the opposite side of town by following Apple Maps directions. And there were times in a couple years after it launched where the address hadn't been updated in so long that I just went to the wrong place. So frustrating, definitely something that I wanted to see fixed. And in 2017 and 2016, things have gotten better. Well, this year in 2018, Apple is working to make Maps even more detailed, starting with California, and they're going to be rolling this out to everybody in the United States, I believe they said within the next year. And then Apple does have Maps data collection happening worldwide, so I assume that in the future it's going to come to countries abroad outside of the United States. Apple just hasn't confirmed that, so for right now we just know the marked improvements are happening inside of the United States, beginning with California, of course, because that's where Apple's headquarters is, and expanding to everybody else sometime later in the year. But iOS 12 Beta 3 is going to have the Maps improvements in, I think, the Bay Area and San Francisco and California, and then Beta 3 should be coming out on Monday or Tuesday of this week, which would either be tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So look for a new video on iOS 12 Beta 3 whenever that drops. That was this week at Apple. That was last week at Apple. We've already started a new week. It is Sunday when I do these. And I don't know if we're going to have a lot of stuff in the pipeline for this week. I've already got some iPhone rumors that I've been keeping my eye on. I know I want to do an update video at some point. And then we also have iOS 12 Beta 3. So that will basically be the next week. I would love to take some questions now based on the news, based on the iPhone rumors, based on new AirPods. I saw something about the iPod Touch earlier, which I'm still really excited, really excited for, really hoping we see. And on iOS 12 and the public beta in general. Let me go ahead and read over the questions. What suggestions do you have for the iPhone? I'm looking for a new phone. At this point, I just say wait until September wait until September when all the new iPhones are announced, because you only have to wait, let's see, all of July, all of August, and then it's September. And that'll be super exciting whenever the new iPhones come out then. So just wait 2 months, and I think you get the iPhone 10 second gen, iPhone 10 Plus, or 6 to 6.1 inch LCD iPhone then. Let's see. Rest in peace, X. Yes, that was super disappointing. I saw that and it just came out of nowhere. Rest in peace, XXX Natashion. Are there new ones? Oh, is the iPhone SE2 happening? Reported on this last week. The latest report says that the iPhone SE2 is not happening, which is definitely disappointing because I know so many of you wanted to see it. I wanted to see it so badly based on those beautiful renders that we got of it from Alexar. I wanted that phone. I thought it would be an incredible addition to Apple's lineup. And now it's reportedly been canceled or delayed until sometime in 2019 or 2020. It might not be happening at all, but I hope it does, because I think the iPhone SE1 was an incredible product. I know a lot of people that loved it because they just didn't want a bigger screen, and it was super portable, super tiny, and some great specs on the inside as well when it launched in 2016. What's going on with the iPod Touch? I don't know, guys. I want to see it so badly. I want to see it so badly. I would buy it in a heartbeat. I would go out to the Apple Store instantly and pick it up. I feel like I've been like the #1 YouTuber talking about the iPod Touch as far as Apple coverage goes, because I just want to see it so badly. And it's still on Apple's side. Apple killed the Shuffle. They killed the Nano. The only iPod that remains is the iPod Touch, and they made those changes, I think, in July of last summer. So there's always the chance that we could see a new iPod refresh. The only problem with me hoping that we see one this year, in July, later this month, is the fact that no rumors are reporting on an iPod Touch refresh. No one is saying we're going to see a new iPod Touch. It is all quiet on the Western Front from Apple. So I don't know if we're going to see a new iPod Touch. I want one. I promise, like, if one comes out, you will see videos, you will see coverage, you will hear me talk about it on Twitter, on this channel. It's just not out right now, and there's not a lot to talk about. How is portrait mode in iOS 12? I actually have not used portrait mode in iOS 12 that much. I think it's better. I think portrait lighting is better, and I think the front-facing stuff has definitely been improved, but there is certainly not a whole lot happening with portrait mode. Apple hasn't like marginal or seriously changed the way that it works, sort of just marginal upgrades across the board. Will iOS 12 beta 3 tomorrow? Yes, I think. It'll be Monday or Tuesday. I definitely think that it's going to happen Monday or Tuesday of this week. So yeah, tomorrow or the day after on July 2nd or July 3rd. I don't see it happening this Wednesday on July 4th, just because that's a pretty big holiday here in the United States. And Apple doesn't really release stuff on big holidays. Will iOS 13 get a complete redesign? Yes, no, yes, the home screen will. Based on the rumors that we're hearing right now from Bloomberg, yes, Apple is working on iOS 13 already. I've made a couple of videos on iOS 13. If you want to check those out, just search like iOS 13 iUpdate OS, and there's some really cool stuff coming, some big iPad features, new home screen, new CarPlay UI. I cannot wait to see what Apple's working on. It's going to be huge next year. In the meantime, we get iOS 12 focused on stability, and I really want Apple to keep this focus on stability happening, because I want to see iOS 12 and iOS 13 be really good, not because of the features that they have, because of the stability and performance they offer. And that's what Apple was always so well known for. They were never first to anything. I know Telosive Tech talks about this a lot on his channel. They're never really first on anything, but they just take things and take inspiration from others and even themselves and just do something really good in the end. And in recent years with iOS 10 and iOS 11, they've grown away from that. They're pushing things out way too early when they're clearly not ready, at the expense of basically people getting angry and their stability not being good and the performance being really, really, really bad off the bat. So I think iOS 12 is going to be great. First super chat from the 9. Thank you so much for that donation. Just a quick reminder, if you guys do super chat, I'll read your message on stream. So are you going to post on IGTV? This is something that I have not talked about yet. And the number one thing holding me back from IGTV right now is the fact that you can't monetize anything, and the fact that vertical video for me and vertical video only just seems like a bad idea. I'm filming right now on a camera that doesn't support vertical video. What this platform is great for is encouraging like instant sharing from your phone, but they're also wanting long form content. So that means you have to film on a camera like I'm using right now, but you only see this, which is real weird for framing, and you have to constantly envision in your head when you're filming then, like only seeing this much. And the way the world works, the way your eyes work, you see like this, like naturally. That's why you like 16:9 or even 4:3, because you don't see vertically, you see horizontally. And the fact that IGTV is only going vertical is a big move, and I've seen way too many people way too excited for it. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good move at all, especially the interface. Like when you open YouTube, for example, you go to the subscriptions page or the home page. You can take your time. You're not rushed into anything. IGTV immediately launches you into the first video you watch, and the interface is awful. There's very little ways to like actually pause. You'll have to like tap and then tap in the bottom left, but then there's no way to just X out of the video. Siri's talking to me. There's just no way to actually collect your thoughts on what you want to watch or what you want to do, and search is definitely a work in progress. They have a long way to go for me to seriously consider posting on IGTV. I think it's a good idea. I like the concept of a YouTube competitor, absolutely. I think that YouTube is not going to be around forever, and while right now it's not going anywhere, competition is really good. It's going to push both platforms forward, and as soon as Instagram starts allowing you to monetize or post horizontally, I'll be very interested in it. Just right now, IGTV doesn't sound that interesting to me because it's vertical only, the interface is bad, and a lot of things just don't feel that well thought out for me for competing with the largest video platform in the world. That's my perspective right now. Another super chat from Lucas. Thank you so much for the donation. How much is the super chat to become mod? I haven't thought about that. I can mod you now, I think. Yeah, add moderating. Thanks for that super chat. You're modded. Dennis. So yeah, you're good, Lucas. I modded you. Dennis. Oh gosh, Trolt. Terra Trolt. I'm sorry, I butchered your last name. No question. Just want to say I love your channel. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you for loving my channel. I love you as well. Yeah, I appreciate that donation. That's pretty cool. All right, we're all caught up on Super Chat. When are AirPods 2 coming out? I would assume in September of this year, just because Apple is definitely going to release them in 2018, and I don't see them waiting until October or November. They'll probably announce them alongside the new iPhones that come out, because, you know, that's what Apple did with the iPhone 7 in 2016. It's hard to believe that AirPods are already 2 years old. They initially released, I think, in December of 2016, a couple months after they were announced because they were delayed. All of 2017, no new AirPods. All of 2018 so far, no new AirPods. And Apple is definitely working to make the AirPods 2 in the future. And I'm so excited for them, of course, to look for videos on AirPods 2 when they drop. Let me grab a quick drink. I'm definitely dry mouthing pretty hard right now. Someone super chatted but then redacted their message, so I can't read it, but thank you for the donation. From Ron Nebecker, $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that donation. Definitely helps me out, definitely helps support the channel, and it's always absolutely amazing. I really appreciated all of you guys' support in general. We recently hit 100,000. I'm still working on a video, I think. I've got some stuff in mind that I want to do. I have some ideas for a video, kind of like, I don't know, what I'm concepting in my head right now is like the story of iUpdateOS, or like, you know, how I came to be, or how I got interested in video, just something like that, kind of like emotion-y and feel-y, because that's what's really fun for 100K videos. So that'll be very, very, very cool. Do you think iOS 13 would be on older devices? From Apollo Snyder. Yeah, I think that Apple will probably drop support for the iPhone 5S for iOS 13, but hopefully the iPhone 6 and above will be supported for iOS 13, but nothing to back that, just my thoughts right now. Is there going to be a 100,000 subscriber giveaway? Okay, this is something I'd love to address. Giveaways are really hard for me. I've done a couple in the past, and I've just had some experiences where it's tough, because if people win internationally, like I hate doing it US only just because I know my fan base is international, and it would be short-sighted of me, I think, to only do the United States. Number one, shipping internationally, really, really expensive, really pricey, and that's something that a lot of people don't think about. Also, shipping internationally can be hard because if the product isn't allowed in that country, sometimes it's held at the border, sometimes the person never gets it. One of the things that happened in the past is someone who won my Apple Watch giveaway like 2 years ago. I shipped to them exact address that they provided, but then they had said the last time that we spoke on Twitter that they never got it. But like, I shipped it to the right address. I tried everything in my power to make sure they got it. And giveaways are just really hard for that. Giveaways also cost money. And being a channel that isn't making $3 million a month or $10,000 a month, it's really hard to see like my income of, okay, I have to buy food, I have to do this, I have rent for my apartment, and seeing like $500 of that just go away is really hard for me right now. So as we continue to grow, I'd love to do more giveaways in the future. But that's where I'm at right now. Oh wow, huge donation. Thank you so much from GP16524, $15. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thanks for the great vids. Thumbs up. Thank you for watching. I could not do this, as every YouTuber says. It's cliche now, but I seriously could not do this without your support. If you did not... Siri keeps popping on. I'm sorry, I thought I was connected, but could not do this without your support. You are the ones who watch. You guys are the ones tuning into this live stream right now, and I really appreciate it. Like, from the bottom of my heart. It's a Sunday afternoon. I could be doing anything, but I get the opportunity to stream and to talk with all of you, which is so cool, and I'm very thankful for that. Is dark mode coming in iOS 12? I wish. I hope. You would think that after 12 iterations of iPhone OS that they would actually release dark mode. but they haven't. They've given it to us on the Apple TV and on the Apple Watch by default and on macOS Mojave, but they have not given dark mode to iOS yet. Unfortunately, I know that it should be coming soon. It has to come in iOS 13. Like, there's no way Apple is able to make it another year with every other platform but iOS without dark mode. Then again, it could come in iOS 12.1 or 12.2 or 12.3. There's just no rumors really talking about that yet, so I don't know. But of course, I will report on iOS 12 in the future. Going forward, like, iOS is this channel's thing that I focus on a lot just because I'm interested in it. And it amazes me to this day that there's 100,000 people that are also equally interested in what I'm interested in. Thank you for the super chat, Sam Walker. Love your insights. Thank you. Thank you. I always try to provide a unique perspective. I hear a lot of, I've heard Telos of Tech mention this on his channel. He's super big into, like, he knows he's biased and he's accepted that. And I think that's super cool. That's a very unique perspective, and I'm all about unique perspectives and something a little bit different. The thing that I try to do on my channel is equal coverage. Like, I know unbiased media is not possible. I know that I am biased towards Apple, but I always try my best to not skew your views automatically or tell you how to think. I'm just trying to offer my opinion and my perspective so that you have, I don't know, an informed buying decision, or you know what you're getting into, or you know whether or not you should upgrade to iOS 12 early. But I never want to tell you what to do because it's your life and that's not mine. And I always find it weird when people, you know, if you're an Apple fanboy, like, oh, you have to use Apple or this is wrong. I think both Android and Apple are great. I just like Apple and iOS better, and clearly that's what I center my channel around. What's on your t-shirts? Let me move this up. This is really uncomfortable. This is my merch. It just says hello again. Marquez Brownlee actually made a shirt very similar to this. And, you know, I'm not going to take credit for the design. I'm not going to say that I invented Apple's rainbow logo. I didn't. But I have seen these colors coincidentally just a couple months after I first put it on one of my shirts. I've seen it popping up all over the internet, especially on Teespring. I see a lot of people suddenly loving retro Apple. And I think it looks cool. Like, it's the original colors of the Apple logo, and I think it looks really, really great. Could the iPhone SE2 and 6.1-inch LCD iPhone be the same? Yeah, they could be. They could very well be the same thing, although the schematics that we've seen for the 6 to 6.1-inch iPhone and the schematics we've seen for the iPhone SE2 are contradictory. They do not line up. They are the same because I've taken a look at them. So they probably aren't the same device, but, like, the concept of a lower cost iPhone in the rumor mill could be the same thing. They could be very, very similar. You do great content. Keep it up. I love iOS. It's the best platform. Yeah, thank you. I think iOS is definitely the best platform. I love it. Do you think AirPods 2 will release in 2018? Yes, AirPods 2 should be coming sometime in September of this year. Which will be very cool. I cannot wait for AirPods 2. I think it's going to be fantastic. Let's see what else we got going on here. Performance-wise, iOS 12 versus iOS 11, what do you pick? iOS 12, hands down. I made a video that blew up. It's at like 200,000 views, which never happens to my videos because they're so niche. But it got 200,000 views on a speed test between iOS 11 and iOS 10. iOS 11 and iOS 12. And iOS 12 is faster. Like, iOS 12 beta 1 is faster than the public version of iOS 11. That's insane. That shows you what poor state Apple released iOS 11 in. Even in July of 2018, it is slower than the beta version of the next big update. Like, that blew my mind. 9to5Mac featured it on their site, which really helped me out. So 9to5Mac, if you're watching, you've shared a couple of my videos in the past, my iOS 12 concept. Thank you so much. They get a ridiculous amount of clicks on their site, and it always means the world to me when they share some of my content. So thank you, 9to5Mac. You should collaborate with Everything Apple Pro. Yes, he is one of my favorite YouTubers. He is insane. His work ethic, unreal. Absolutely unreal. He makes so many good videos. We've talked before. We've texted before. He's a really nice guy. He loves making videos about Apple. And I hope that we get to collaborate in the future. I know we've been talking about some things in the back burner as far as concepts in the future, but nothing is like guaranteed to be happening yet. And I know he's super busy. He's always posting videos, and he does a fantastic job. So Everything Apple Pro, highly recommended you subscribe to him. Super great perspective as well. Like, as far as the content we cover, I think we're very similar in how we present the information. And you know, I've got 100,000. He happens to have like 6 million, which is well deserved. He makes really great videos, and I love his stuff. T Briggs 45, $2. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you have anything you want me to read, just let me know. Would you want to do a collab? Yeah, definitely. I mean, anytime you could get exposure on a channel with 6 million subscribers, I would never turn that down. But I don't expect it, and I don't ever expect anybody to give me a shout out or to help me out, just because, I mean, I built my channel without any shout outs or without any help. Nobody helped me along the way. It was just me making videos, and I'm definitely proud of that. I know, especially in the vlogger scene, like, you can go from having no followers to 1 million followers in a month or two if you start hanging out with the top vlog, like Casey Neistat, for example. You can go from nothing to something by him just talking about your name on his channel. And while that's incredible for growth, it's definitely like a lot harder to just do it on your own without anybody else's help. So that's been something very cool for this channel. I have had a couple of shout outs from TechSmart. Everything Apple Pro has mentioned me on his channel before for the iOS 12 concept I helped work on. And that is always like greatly appreciated. I really love that. And TechSmart especially, like, he gave me a shout out in a video, which was amazing. I got like around 1,000 subscribers from that, I think. So it's incredible. I just, I don't expect it, but when it happens, it's always a nice surprise. Let's see, we got one from Apple World. Thank you so much for that. Congrats on 100K, my dude. Thank you. If you guys don't know Apple World, check out his channel. He makes some really good stuff. He focuses a lot. I focus on iOS more, but he's more like the Apple Watch guru or guy, which is incredible. There's a huge market for Apple Watch videos, and he also does a really great job of talking about it. So definitely check out Apple World for all of your Apple Watch and other Apple needs and rumors. From Luke's again, when's the name change happening? Ooh, gosh, you guys are backing me into a corner here. I'm not trying to talk about this yet. But you asked, so I'll answer. Name change is happening soon. Basically, for everybody that doesn't know, the channel's getting a rebrand. It's going to be pretty small. It's not going to be a lot different. The logo is going to change. I think the design of the website is going to change. There is going to be a new merch shop, and I'm very excited for that. Like, the new merch shop itself is going to be amazing. It's going to support Apple Pay. Shipping prices are going to be cheaper. The design's going to be a lot better. You can pay with PayPal or Apple Pay or anything else. Like, the new shop, I'm so excited for. I've sort of like rebuilt it from the ground up. So that's going to be really cool. The name change is probably going to happen within the next month, but it's not going to be something that you won't recognize. Like, when you see it, it's going to be the same. I haven't officially announced it just yet, but a name change is happening. I'm so excited. In my last live stream, some of you may have actually guessed what the name change is changing to, but just something a little bit simpler, fewer syllables, and something that flows much easier off the tongue than I Update OS, because I made that name when I think I was 14 or 15. And since then, I've definitely grown up a little bit, and I want to create this brand that is a little bit more professional. So that's what's happening. The name I'm not going to release just yet. You'll see it's going to be a big surprise, huge event. I don't know how I'm going to reveal it. Maybe I reveal it on like a Sunday live stream like this, or I just reveal it sometime on my channel. Maybe I'll make a huge video about the rebrand. I haven't gotten that far yet, just because I have quite a bit more work to do. I could sneak you the logo. I think I have it on my phone. Just to give you a quick preview. Maybe I have it in the Photos app. All right, I'll leak part of it. I'll leak part of it right now, just for all of you watching. So this is part of the logo right now. Are you ready? This is a huge reveal. First ever time I'm showing off the new logo on YouTube. This is gonna be the new logo right here. 2 arrows like this to symbolize like updating or moving forward. That is going to be the new like square logo, and then there is going to be a word next to it, As you can see, there is an E right there, but that is all I'm going to leak and preview right now. You guys will have to stay tuned for the rest of it. But I love this color yellow, and I wanted to incorporate it in my logo, and I just think this looks really fresh, and it's the direction that I want to take my channel in. So that is the preview you guys get for now, which means it's probably a great time to wrap up this episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for the donations today. You guys were incredibly generous. That helps me keep the lights on. That helps me buy the new products that you guys see because Apple doesn't send me anything. So I always really appreciate that. Thank you for watching. If you're listening in the podcast app, you can do so. You can watch the full thing over on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you can listen to it in your car or on the go on Apple Podcasts. So that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are doing great, and I will see you next Sunday with the next episode.